Hey, today I want to talk to you about hunger. Okay? And you know what? It's a good thing. I'm going to tell you, hunger is a good thing. It's been made a villain, even by the fitness industry. First to admit, fitness industry has made hunger a bad guy, had made fasting the F word. Okay? The F word of fitness is fasting. It's terrible because it's one of the healthiest things you could possibly do, and it's probably the most powerful tool we have at losing weight, at burning off body fat, especially burning off visceral fat, the fat around your organs in your torso here. Fasting, nothing beats fasting at burning off visceral fat, at burning off the fat in your liver and around your pancreas and your heart. No exercise can touch it. And I'm talking about fasting as in, even as little as intermittent fasting, like a 14, 16, maybe 18-hour window of fasting between dinner the day before and your first meal the next day. It could be that simple, 4, 5, 6 days a week. Could really make a huge impact in your body's efficiency at burning fat, at training your fat-burning metabolism, allowing you to actually get rid of that fat that the plateau you've been hitting, that weight loss plateau, and burn off the body fat you've been trying to get rid of. But you've been following the standard advice, or the advice from your trainer of, oh, eat 5 or 6 times a day, the stuff that's on the magazine covers, oh, eat to boost your metabolism. Wrong. You don't eat to boost your metabolism. Sorry. Okay? There's a small amount, micro unit of truth in that's been blown up, okay? And it's making us all fat. It's made the country fat since we started eating 5 or 6 times a day over a 15, 16-hour window. Don't let yourself get hungry. Eat every 2 or 3 hours. You know what you're doing when you do that? You're getting in the way of your body's ability to burn fat. Every time you eat protein or carb, insulin goes up, which means you cannot access body fat, usually for 3, 4, 5 hours after that meal. Very true, okay? So eating every 2 or 3 hours, you are getting in the way of your body's ability to access body fat, because while blood sugar is up and insulin is up, you cannot access body fat. That's just basic biochemistry. There's no question to that. Insulin's up. Why would you access what you have stored when insulin is up, trying to put stuff away, trying to store it? It's a food storage, energy storage hormone. And while it's up, your body's not going to release more because you're already storing. Every time you eat, you're in storage mode. You're putting it away. You're not burning it off. Even before your workout, you eat before your workout for energy, right? You are basically putting more in front of you to have to burn off before you start accessing body fat during your workout. Fasted, okay? Minimum just to maintain, okay? This is like our schedule from the 1950s and 60s. There was a 12-hour window between dinner and breakfast. Like you might have eaten dinner at 6, breakfast the next day at 7 or 8, okay? Now we eat from 6 a.m. to 9 or 10 p.m. It's ridiculous, and we're fatter than ever. 12-hour window minimum to maintain your weight. You want to make a difference? Add 4 or 5 hours to that. Go for a 16 or 17-hour fast. Eat between 12 and 7 or 12 and 8 or 11 and 7, depending on when your dinner is, okay? Compress your eating window to within 6, 7, 8 hours a day and see what happens to your waistline, because it'll shrink. See how much leaner you get. See if you start noticing some abdominals that you haven't seen in 10 or 15 years. Okay? Watch your pants begin to fit better. After about a month or 2, tops, you're going to notice a significant size change if you can do that 5 or 6 times a day. And then after you fasted, 5 or 6 times a week, do that 5 or 6 times a week, you're going to see significant changes. You're going to break through plateaus. You're going to see size changes because your body can actually have an opportunity to burn body fat. Once a week, now I'm not saying you have to do this to be successful, but once a week, and I'm not trying to lose weight, but I want to maintain good, a healthy fat burning metabolism, right? So I lift, obviously, I try to grow, build muscle, but once a week, I do a 20 to 24-hour fast. So I go from basically dinner to dinner, every day is a little different, but I usually pick one day a week, 24-hour fast, dinner to dinner. And I just have coffee and tea with nothing in them throughout that day. That is a workout for my metabolism. It's a workout for fat burning processes. Okay? Now, that may sound extreme to some of you. Yeah, you know what? I'm a little extreme. I'm 48 years old. I got single digit body fat. I like being at optimal fitness and health. And maybe you want that too. But I have to tell you something. If you're too content with where you are to make changes, it's not going to happen. If you aren't willing to change the way you do things, to change the way you eat, to maybe skip a few breakfasts and just have coffee and get to work, okay? If you're not willing to skip a few meals, or maybe stop eating every 2 or 3 hours, stop grazing and snacking throughout the day, and get rid of the sugar in your diet, then maybe you don't want it. Maybe you're not hungry enough. You don't have the desire to really get in your optimal level of shape, optimal level of fitness. And that's okay. That's where you are. That's fine. You're content. But don't blame anyone else other than yourself, because that's your decision. Okay? If you got to eat at Waffle House every day, if you're sticking muffins in your mouth throughout the day, or eating snack bars, and you can't go 2 or 3 hours without grabbing something to eat, grabbing something out of a plastic bag, if you can't switch your diet to eating whole foods, okay? If you're eating meat out of a plastic bag that's been sliced and injected with flavors, come on. You're not really serious about putting healthy food in your body, okay? And if you're not willing to skip a few meals so that your body can actually access body fat and burn some fat and feel a little bit of hunger, feel a little bit of like, hey, there's no food in there. Gurgle, gurgle, big deal. Drink some water, drink some coffee. It goes away. 10 or 15 minutes, it's gone. You know what that means? You know what that tells me when I hear it? When I feel like, oh, there's a little gurgle, there's a little hunger. It's not real hunger. You're not going to fall over. You're not burning muscle. You're going to burn fat. That's, to me, that's the signal. It's like, oh, my body, okay, it's running. Liver glycogen's running a little low. It's going to start having to break down body fat for fuel to replenish the fuel in my body. That, to me, it's a signal that body fat is about to get burned. So today, it's a good signal for me. I like it. I want to feel some hunger. Bring on the hunger. And then when I do eat, it tastes so much better. It tastes so good. But if you're eating all the time, it's just, it's just another snack. It's just another meal. It's just another whatever, okay? And it doesn't mean anything. But if you've earned it, if you've gone 15, 16, 17 hours without eating, and when you eat this really good whole food with lots of colors, proteins, the veggies, depending on what plan you're on, what your strategy is, whether it's more fat or have a sweet potato for some carb, depending on what you're doing, it's good, whole, nutritious food, and you're nourishing your body. That's the reward. The reward is you're doing something good for your body. You burn fat, and then you're filling it back up with something that's good for it. Not abusing yourself with food that you know isn't good for you. It's just a matter of self-respect. Honestly. Do you respect yourself enough to make the decisions you need to make to burn off some body fat, to feel some hunger, and to replenish your body's nutrients with something good, with whole food? Do you respect yourself enough to do that? Are you content with where you are and it's not worth the change? Fine, that's where you're at. But if you're ready to make the change, and you're willing to feel a little hunger, a little discomfort, to get what you want, to get what you're after, to hit your goal, your fitness goal, stick around. I'm going to keep unpacking these. My last video was the hunger. I told you I'm going to unpack the hunger, the hunt, and the feast. There's hunger. It's not just hunger. There's hunger, there's the hunt, and there is a feast. There's nourishment. But it leads to optimal fitness. So stick around. Over the next week or two, I'm going to be unpacking these elements. But go back, see my last video, and get ready for more as I unpack the hunt and the feast. Talk to you later.